Miss Italy, a female running the Navy, and a detransitioning woman files lawsuits over her treatments. This is not your mama's podcast. It's the Chico de Manuel Show. Let's get it. The clock starts in 3, 2, 1. Courtesy of Barbie Lots in the Dough from CNN. Italy starts removing lesbian mothers' names from children's birth certificates. The northern Italian city of Padua has started removing the names of non-biological gay mothers from their children's birth certificates under new legislation passed by the traditional family-first government of Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni. These birth certificates belong to 33 children of Italian women who underwent artificial insemination abroad and then registered their children under the city's center-left government led by Sergio Giordani in 2017. The prosecutor's office in Padua confirmed that to CNN that as of Thursday, 27 mothers have been removed from 27 birth certificates. Giordani came to power by promising to remove the traditional mother and father designations on birth certificates. But this was overturned when Meloni's government ordered local authorities to stop registering the children of same-sex parents with both of their names. This measure means that only the biological parent of a child can be named on a birth certificate. Surrogacy is illegal in Italy, and gay marriage has not been legalized. Because same-sex relationships aren't recognized in law, the non-biological parent has to make a special case for legally adopting their child. The measure also stops men in the same-sex relationship from registering the birth certificate of their child with both fathers' names. Instead, they have to choose one to be the legal father. Quote, "There is no discrimination against children," Family Minister Eugenia Brocella told Parliament when she introduced the bill in June, explaining that the children of gay couples would have access to school and medical services just like those who have only one living parent. The effect of the move is to limit certain rights for the non-registered parent and requires them to have permission to carry out everyday family tasks, such as picking up the child from school or using public services on their behalf. The local chapter of LGBT campaign group, the Rainbow Family Association, has launched an official protest. Quote, "These birth certificates have not broken any law since they were signed into a legislative vacuum, which now leaves our children in limbo," the group said in a statement when the first certificates were annulled in June. Quote, "We ask that our children are nothing but citizens, fully protected, and that our families are not destroyed by the political will of the government to impose a single-family model." In March, Meloni's government also introduced legislation to extend the national ban on surrogacy to couples who use such services abroad. If it passes, anyone breaking the law could face a 2-year jail term and a fine of more than $1 million. The law has not been debated in Parliament and has been criticized for targeting same-sex couples specifically, but it would also extend to heterosexual couples who use surrogacy services abroad. Meloni campaigned heavily on an anti-LGBT ticket, and since taking office in October has been vocal about her desire to ensure, quote, "all babies are born from a man and a woman." Padua is the first city in Italy to retroactively cancel birth certificates, but rights groups are concerned that other regions, especially those controlled by center-right governments, will follow suit. At the end of June, around 300 women took part in a sit-in outside Padua's Palace of Justice after a state prosecutor in the city said the birth certificates of 33 children born to lesbian couples were not legal. In a peaceful protest, the women held up signs with slogans such as, "The teacher taught us that we were all the same. Didn't your teacher teach you?" So, the quickest way to sum that up, Italy ain't bullshitting. Italy does not play that shit. Italy is not with the LGBT. Italy is not with the trans women are women, women in sports, in women's bathrooms, little boys being girls, little girls being boys, gender affirming care, gender affirming surgery, hormone blockers, puberty blockers, testosterone, none of the shits. Italy is not fucking around. And some people might call that fascist or far right or whatever the fuck. But it's like, do you understand? Like, look at America. Look at America. You don't even have to take a close look at America. Like, you can take a very, very, very brief look at America, and you can see how it's working out so well for us over here. We got people confused to the fucking gills, don't know which bathroom to use, don't know which sex they are. They're not a male or a female, but they're a third gender, which is a compilation of a million infinite genders, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Like, Italy has culture. I would love to go to Italy just to be somewhere where there is culture present. The United States has lost its culture, and they're trying desperately to cling to it, and I think the fight is working. However, Italy is a good example of a country that's not with the shit. They're not playing games on this LGBT shit. They mean it. Italy has a culture that they're trying to preserve, and they're going to preserve it by any means. And if you're not with that, then you need to leave Italy, or you need to get brushed the fuck out of the way. Seriously. I'm all in favor of it. The bottom line is, Italy ain't with the shits. If you a man trapped in a woman's body, or you a woman trapped in a man's body, you better stay your ass out of Italy, because they ain't fucking with you. They gonna imprison your ass and fine your ass, and ain't gonna be a goddamn thing you can do about it. Courtesy of Newsweek, story by Matthew Impelli. Miss Italy won't allow transgender competitors, must be woman, quote, from birth. Yeah, Italy got to double down on this episode, because I was like, what? Italy is not fucking around. The Miss Italy competition will not allow transgender women to compete, with its patron saying that contestants, quote, must be a woman from birth, after Miss Netherlands crowned its first transgender winner. Quote, lately beauty contests have been trying to make the news by also using strategies I think are a bit absurd. Miss Italy official Patron Patrizia Mirigliani. Patron Patrizia, official patron. Okay, I think I got this all fucked up. Miss Italy official patron Patrizia Mirigliani. Patrizia Mirigliani. Miss Italy official patron Patrizia Mirigliani said this month during an interview with Radio Cusano, Il Primato Nazionale reported, according to a translation from Google. Man, the Italian has fucked me up, man. I can't. Jesus. Quote, since it was born, my competition has foreseen this regulation and the clarification according to which one must be a woman from birth. Probably because even then it was foreseen that a beauty could undergo modifications, or that women could undergo modifications, or that men could become women, Mirigliani added. Il Primato Nazionale reported. I think that's the first nation, if I had to guess what that means. Il Primato Nazionale is probably the first nation in Italian. Newsweek reached out to the Miss Italy contest press office via email for further comment. Polling suggests that support for transgender rights in Italy is generally comparable to that in other Western nations. In 2016, the UCLA School of Law Williams Institute conducted a poll in 23 countries, including in Italy, to gauge worldwide support for transgender individuals. A majority in 21 of those countries, including Italy, quote, support policies banning discrimination against transgender people. Additionally, the poll created a scale to gauge the average level of support for transgender rights among different countries. It found that Russia ranked the lowest at 41 out of 100, while Spain ranked the highest at 74. Italy ranked at 57. Mirigliani's comments come just a few weeks after the Miss Netherlands contest crowned its first transgender woman winner, Ricky Valerie Collier. According to NPR, following her victory in the contest, Collier will go on to represent her country in the 2023 Miss Universe contest. Quote, I did it, Collier wrote in an Instagram post on July 9th. Quote, yes, I am a trans woman and I would like to share my story, but I am also Ricky and that is what counts for me. I did this on my own strength and enjoyed every moment. She added in her caption, wherever you are in the world, I want to be there for you and be the example that I miss myself as a little me. According to the Huffington Post Italy, Mirigliani said that while she was happy with the Miss Netherlands contest included transgender women, she noted that Italy's contest rules were not changed to allow transgender women to compete. In 2012, the Miss Universe contest announced that it was changing its rules to allow transgender women to compete. Quote, we have a long history of supporting equality for all women, and this was something we took very seriously, the president of the Miss Universe contest, Paula Sugar, said at the time, according to Reuters. The 2018 Miss Universe pageant saw the first transgender woman to compete in Angela Ponce, who previously won the Miss Spain contest. Quote, "This is for you who have no visibility, no voice, because we all deserve a world of respect, inclusion, and freedom. And today I am here proudly representing my nation, all women, and human rights," Ponce wrote in an Instagram post at the motherfucking time. Good grief. When do these people ever just not need to be seen? Like, show me an introverted trans person. Like, what do they look like? Are you telling me all the classic trans people were just introverted because they didn't know they wanted to be seen? Like, why don't they have that drive to just live their lives and be who they are without everybody knowing that they're living their lives and being them true selves? Like, I really don't give a shit if you're being your true self. If you are, fine. But, like, why do I need to buy tickets to that screening? Like, I'm all for people discovering themselves, figuring themselves out. But I'm not all for caring about it. Shit, I had to discover myself and figure myself out. And I didn't fucking walk people down every step of the way. Hey guys, guess what? I figured what kind of porn I like. Hey guys, guess what? I discovered that strawberry ice cream is the bee's knees. Hey guys, hey guys, hey guys. Like, no. Who really gives a fuck? Maybe on some things, because I'm like personally proud of it. And I understand this is something they're probably personally proud of, but you got to understand with the kind of water that, you know, your gang is treading in right now. Not everybody wants to hear that shit. People are tired of hearing about that shit. It's just like during election season when all those fucking election commercials are coming on, like, you shouldn't vote against or such and such supported Bill 42, which limits the, You just be like, oh my God, for fuck's sake, I just do not care. I'm tired of seeing these fucking commercials. Can I just go back to watching BoJack Horseman, please? I thought Netflix didn't fucking have political commercials. Well, guess what? It does. Shit. It says beauty contests have been trying to make the news by using strategies that are a bit absurd. If this is the way to make the news, I wouldn't say it's a bit absurd. I would just say it's the lowest hanging fruit you possibly can, because right now, everybody's got to care about trans people. Like, if you don't care about trans people, prepare to lose your career. Prepare to be slandered. Prepare to be fucking mocked and have your name sullied. Like, prepare to throw everything you've worked hard for and cared about down the fucking tubes. It's gone. When the fuck did you ever have an option about caring about trans people and their story and their progress? You thought you had an option? You thought you got to choose whether you wanted to hear this shit or not? Well, you're a fucking dummy. I hope you're not waiting for a punchline. No, you're fucking stupid. If you thought you had a say in this, you lost your say a long time ago. We lost our say a long time ago because we entertained this conversation. And I'm not saying I don't want trans people to live their lives, be themselves. I'm saying I don't want any fucking part of it whatsoever. I don't want to congratulate it. I don't want to throw hate at it. I want to not give a fuck about it like I did for, I don't know what, the majority of my life. You know? What else? We have a long history of supporting equality for all women. Now, this is the Miss Universe contest. We have a long history of supporting equality for all women. It's like, what do you mean all women? What do you mean all women? Like, because if you're saying all women as if trans women are women, then I don't think you're referencing all women. You're referencing everybody. Like, because I can identify as a woman. And if I identify as a woman and I don't win that Miss Universe pageant, then you guys are discriminating against me. And I think that's fucked up. You know? Because you're supposed to be supporting equality for all women, even the women who aren't women. All women. All women. You know? And I'm a woman. As of right now, I'm a woman. And as of right now, I'm not anymore. So for that period of time, I was a woman. I didn't feel represented. And I don't feel represented now as a man who's a woman who was a woman. And this shit sound ridiculous. In 2018, they saw the first transgender woman to compete. Okay, so they allowed it in 2012, and it took them 6 years to get somebody on board, because in 2012, this wasn't really a dinner table discussion. This is a fairly new thing. Motherfuckers weren't talking about this shit way back when, you know, just what, I don't know, 11 years ago. This was not even entertained. But then it just went on and on and on and on and on about it. And now this is something that we have to talk about. Not because we particularly give any fucking one direction or another, but because they won't shut up about it. They just won't shut up about being acknowledged. And if you don't, then you're all these things that are supposed to be bad. Well, if I'm a bigot, well, if I'm a transphobe, it's like fucking fine. If it'll get you to shut the fuck up, yeah, I'll be that. Yeah, I'm that. Okay, I'm that. I'm all those things that you say I am. But you're none of the things that I say you are. Because I say you're a biological male. I don't give a damn what surgery you had. Like, if you fucking get the sides of your mouth extended halfway up your cheeks, does that make you the Joker? Like, what the fuck? If you get your hands chopped off and you get your arms splayed out and flattened, does that make you a seal? Like, because you can... If you put whiskers on your face, does that make you a cat? This shit is obvious, like kindergarten level breakdown of nonsense. But this shit has gotten all the way up to the Supreme Court because, like, it's like a fucking mental illness is like in competition with biological factual reality. Like, we're competing against a mental illness. We're competing against people's perception of themselves, which in itself is just a topic with unlimited reach. Like, how in the fuck are we ever supposed to settle on how you see yourself when you can feel this way one day and feel that way one day? Like, I was watching an episode of Rick and Morty. Rick Sanchez said it best. Like, uncertainty is inherently unstable. At some point, everything either is or isn't. You gotta make your fucking mind up. I don't give a fuck what it is in life. You have to make your mind up. You do not get to transport through life on a cloud of uncertainty. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. Your ass is just gonna be forgotten about because every time you make a name for yourself as something, you're something else. And people are gonna get tired of trying to keep up with that shit. Like, what if Barack Obama ran for president as Barack Obama, but after the second term, he wanted to be Malik Al-Kujaweeb? Like, so now he's Barack Obama, Malik Al-Kujaweeb, Hassan Al-Donahue. Like, we're not keeping up with all that shit. You're gonna be the first motherfucker I knew you as, and that's that. Like, some people still call me by my government name, but that's because when they met me, my government name is what I went by. I've changed that once. I found a name. I realized I was having a bunch of nicknames that would change every couple years. Like K-Rox was the name for a while, but then I decided I'm going to eliminate K-Rox and I'm going to stick with Chico. And like Chico has been a name, like I've thought of other names cooler since then or something else I want to be called, but I stuck with Chico. Why? Because I realized commitment was something I sucked at. And it's going to look stupid if I go through life with 17 different fucking names. 2 Chainz did it. 2 Chainz used to be Titty Boy. Now he's 2 Chainz. You know, people who knew him back then know him as Titty Boy. The people who know him now know him as 2 Chainz. We can get by with that. And the reason we can get by with that is because he settled on 2 Chainz. Not because he's still thinking of the next thing he's going to be called in the next 15 years or so. This shit has got to stop. Women have to be women and men have to be men. And we have to stop having a conversation like anything else is acceptable in terms of the culture that determines and drives a civilization and a society. This is not a conversation we having for real. Real quick, before I jump into the fucking next topic, y'all gonna have to do a dab with me. And while I do this dab, I'm gonna tell you guys about my trip to the Asian market today. So, first of all, let me start by the fact that I'm a 31-year-old male, and I have never once even considered walking into the Asian market. And there's a decision that I'm kicking myself for quite a bit. I went around, saw a lot of things, like, just, for one, I saw a Maneki Neko, which is the beckoning cat, which is supposed to be like a sign of good luck, which I want one of those. I saw a life-size Pikachu, which I'm gonna get, and if anybody buys it before me, I'm gonna hunt them down and murder them. And I just saw a lot of different and cool foods that, like, I just really wasn't aware of regarding Asian cuisine. And me and my friend, she bought a bunch of different, like, bag of Lay's chips. Like, for one, I had some, I don't know if they were Japanese Cheetos. I think they were Japanese Cheetos. And it's like, they are so much better than the Cheetos in America. Like, they don't have that orange shit all over them. Like, they just taste a lot more healthy for you. Like, I actually feel like it's one of the healthiest snacks I've ever consumed in my life. Like, it's ridiculous the difference between something I've grown up eating, loving, and enjoying. Like, how much different it is overseas in Japan. Like, they don't put all that extra shit in there that you don't need, and it makes a huge difference. Ooh, that was a big one. Yeah, that was a pretty big hit. Ooh, but yeah, as I was saying, fuck. Going through the Asian market, man. Like, I think what all bags did we get? We got like this one I just finished off right here. It's Italian red meat flavor. I don't recall really precisely having Italian red meat, but really, really good. Probably my favorite of the bunch. We had one that was supposed to taste like roasted chicken. It was pretty fucking bomb. What was the one before that we fucking had? Damn, I cannot remember. I can't remember the one we had before that, but got one in there now that's like pure, just straight up tomato. Like, it's supposed to taste like tomato. It was good. She gave me some dumplings, which I'd never had before, which were absolutely exquisite. And like, it was like this fucking this weird rice. Like, it was like it kind of dissolved in my mouth the way Chester fries would, but it was like this weird, just taste. It kind of looked like a tapeworm. I hate to use that as the way to describe it, but it looked a lot like a tapeworm, and it was just fucking weird how it just dissolved in my mouth. She put a little bit of Cajun spice on there, and it was like the perfect warning of what Cajun could do if you decide to indulge. Like, it was really, really tasty. I'm in there. I'm probably gonna munch back on the tomato ones before I get back into the next segment. I just wanted to talk about how astonished I was and like how different it was of an experience to just see all that type of shit. Just see her knowledge with it, because she's a chef, and like she fucking knows what she's doing. Like, that's my homie right there for life. And she put me on to some shit today, and I feel really happy to have been a part of that experience, to get to see something new, and to further emphasize the fact that I am so ready to leave America. This is coming from Reuters. Biden chooses female admiral to lead U.S. Navy. Official. Alrighty. President Joe Biden on Friday nominated Admiral Lisa Franchetti to lead the Navy, a move that would break a gender barrier in the U.S. military by making her the first woman to command the Navy and to become a member of the Joint Chief of Staff. Where was the gender barrier prior to that? Like, why was that ever necessary? Anywho, the decision by Biden is a surprise. Pentagon officials had widely expected the nomination to go to Admiral Samuel Paparo, who leads the Navy in the Pacific and who has experience grappling with the growing challenge from China. Still, Franchetti, who is currently the Vice Chief of Operations for the Navy, was among the candidates believed to be in the running for the position. In a statement, Biden noted Franchetti's 38 years of experience. Quote, throughout her career, Admiral Franchetti has served expertise both in the operational and operational arenas. No, let me be serious. That was my Joe Biden impression. Throughout her career, Admiral Franchetti has demonstrated extensive expertise in both the operational and policy arenas, Biden said in a statement, noting that she was just the second woman to ever achieve the rank of 4-star admiral in the U.S. Navy. Franchetti is not the first woman to lead a branch of the U.S. military. Last year, Biden picked Admiral Linda Fagan to lead the U.S. Coast Guard. But the Coast Guard is not formally part of the Department of Defense and instead falls under the Department of Homeland Security. Franchetti will become the first woman to lead a military service as DOD as its chief. Okay, so, they got a little video here. I don't know if it's part of the article, but it's within the article, courtesy of Fox News. Suppose I'll let that play. Let me make sure my volume's up, because it's not gonna be super loud, because I don't have all the technical shit. You know, I'm not a fucking technical guy. But yeah, let's let this thing rip. It's Fox News.
Let's bring in Florida Senator Rick Scott, who serves on the Senate Homeland Security, Armed Services, and Budget Committee. Senator, good to have you with us. Let's tackle recruiting first. What do you believe has led to the shortfalls in recruiting, and what do you think we should do to resolve it?
Well, you know, I joined the Navy at 18. My father was in the Army. Yeah, he told me the Germans, the foxholes, and the food was bad, so I thought the Navy would be a better experience. But I joined because I like the mission. You look at who's our commander-in-chief. How many people are that want to join the military say, boy, I'm excited about Joe Biden, who believes in all this wokeness stuff as being my commander-in-chief? And does he have your back? So I think our problem starts with we have the wrong commander-in-chief. We have a focus on wokeness in the military right now rather than readiness. So when those things change, I think our recruiting numbers are going to get better. When we have a mission, we tell people, why are we doing what we're doing? Why is our military doing what it's doing? What's our mission? And when we do that, I think people are going to come back in droves.
What about what Jennifer Griffin just reported, that the majority of young people who might be eligible for military recruitment are not fit to serve? They're just not physically fit.
Well, one thing the Army's doing is at Fort Jackson, they are bringing individuals in to get them in shape to be able to serve.
People are not even in shape to serve. Me, I'm physically in shape, but like my wind would suck. Like you give me like a month, I could be military fit. I got the athletic build. Like I'm 31. I'm at my athletic prime. Like it's pretty much all downhill after I hit like 34, 35. Like, you know. And I wouldn't have thought about going to the military at any other time, but I probably would do it now, just for the physicality of it, like, you know.
So that's one way the Army is doing that. But I think a lot of our issues is the fact that, you know, that we have the wrong message. I mean, do you think the Chinese are out there, you know, practicing pronouns, or do you think they're practicing how to be lethal? We've got to talk about how we're going to be the most lethal force in the world, right? Not talk about wokeness. That's what our military is here to do: defend the freedom, our freedom, and our allies' freedom, and that's all their responsibility to do.
And I agree with that. The military is supposed to be lethal. It is supposed to do all of that, you know. And while I'm not opposed to a woman being in charge of the Navy, like because she's a woman. Well, actually, it is because she's a woman, but like not because she isn't capable. I think it definitely is because she's a woman, and unless you're watching the movie Mulan or some shit, I don't really know of a military that's like spearheaded by women, you know, and that will probably be my only reason why. Like, I don't see why a woman isn't capable of doing it, but just me personally, I feel more comfortable having a male running my military. And I think my other issue with it here is that Biden is the one that's appointing it. Like, I don't trust that the woman isn't capable, but if Biden is backing her, if Joe Biden is the one that says this is the one for the job, that makes me nervous. I don't want Joe Biden deciding who's going to be the one for the job, you know, because Joe Biden doesn't know. Joe Biden has no fucking idea what would be good. I don't think he all his decisions are fucking questionable as hell, man. Like, he's super suspect as a president. So I don't want Joe Biden picking the woman. Like, I would like the woman to be picked by somebody a little more clear-headed and cognizant and more often, you know, got clear, up-to-date, high-functioning faculties and not slurring and stammering over their words like an intoxicated fucking mental patient.
It should be a great meritocracy that anybody can get ahead. When I was in the Navy, it was a meritocracy. Yeah. Is it a meritocracy now? I know our nominee for the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff is committed to it, but when you have Biden as the president, does he get to do it?
Yeah, I'll ask you about General Charles Q. Brown in just a second, but Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama has put a hold on all general and flag officer nominations because of the issue that Jennifer highlighted. General Randy George, who is the nominee for Army Chief of Staff, said that's having a profound impact on recruiting. This is what he said.
It is impacting our readiness. For us, it's important as we move leaders to get the right leader in the right place at the right time, and especially with the right experience. And so that's what we're challenged with right now with the whole.
Case in point, let's put this up on the screen because this is quite striking. It has left the Joint Chiefs with nobody in the lower right-hand side there to lead the Marine Corps for the first time in 100 years. General Brown also warned that we will lose talent because of this hold. What would you say to Senator Tuberville?
Well, it's interesting that these same arguments were not made when Tammy Duckworth did this during the Biden administration or during the Trump administration, and there was over 1,000 people. Their advancements were held up. Why doesn't the military just do its job? They're violating federal law in what they're doing, or at least the spirit of that law. And all that Senator Tuberville is doing is saying this is wrong. If you want to change the law, come to Congress. We can change the law if we want to change the law. But you don't get to do this on your own. That's exactly what the Biden administration keeps doing in a variety of areas. They say, oh, we don't like the way that law works, so we're just going to do something different. Senator Tuberville has a right to do this.
All right, well, we'll keep following it and see how it all shakes out. Senator Rick Scott of the great state of Florida, it was good to talk to you. Thank you, sir.
All right, so, I think now that I've seen that entire clip, how it combines and intermingles with the topic of the woman being led as the head of the U.S. Navy, is that recruitment in the military, it seems to be at all-time lows. They said they don't even have anybody running the fucking Marines. And they say it's a matter of struggles to recruit people. Because one, most of the people are not physically fit. Two, we got a campaign and propaganda going around that women could be men, and you're feminizing the military's number one commodity, men. You know, you need men firing those rifles. You need men manning those cannons. You need men flying those planes. You need men in those foxholes, So, I think Biden is super woke. This is probably some type of move to try to attract these girly men or these people that are confused about what the fuck they are, to get them to join the military. Like, I was just watching something on Matt Walsh earlier where it was some guy was in the military talking about wearing clear nail polish because it made him feel more feminine. And I'm like, why the fuck does he need to be there? Like, we don't need feminine men. Like, feminine traits typically feminine traits are not really useful in the military, whose purpose is to be ready and be lethal and defend the country. This shit doesn't make sense. Like, I'm in no way saying that the woman who has been chosen to run the Navy, if she's got 38 years of military experience, if that is true, I don't think that she's incapable. However, with the state of the country and the state of the culture being as capricious and nonsensical as it is, I don't consider it a wise timing for such a decision, nor do I see it as to be necessary for anything other than meritocracy or, competency, and I don't really trust Joe Biden's judgment in that regard. Look at all the other shit he's endorsing. Look at the state of the country right now. Like, this shit is fucked up. And I don't think that this move is being made because it needs to be made. It's being made as to leave some type of imprint on his legacy and his time in the White House, which I think in the grand scheme of things is going to be utterly forgettable, disastrous, and one of the most unmemorable times in American history. It's courtesy of Fox News. Detransitioning woman sues over treatments. Quote, it's been devastating mentally and physically. Prisha Mosley says she was fast-tracked into gender care treatments on America Reports. We got a clip. It's a little long, but I'm going to just let it run, and we'll go from there. Oh, hold on. I made a fuck up here. I need an AV guy for this shit.
I was manipulated not only by my trans peers, but by my gender specialist, the person who gave me my letter of recommendation and surgery. This together, it was all sold as like a wonderful thing. It wasn't like a medical condition that you needed to be treated like you're trans now and it's celebrated and you're wonderful.
North Carolina woman is left heartbroken after going through gender transitioning at a young age, only to try to reverse course years later. 25-year-old Prisha Mosley says she was failed by her doctors, who led her down the path of cross-sex hormones and a double mastectomy, when all she really needed was therapy. And now she's taking her concerns to the courts, suing her doctors for fast-tracking her into transgender care at the age of 17. Prisha Mosley joins us now along with her attorney, Josh Payne. Prisha, it's good to see you again. Josh, welcome to you. Prisha, we've talked to you many times in the past. This was before the lawsuit. What's the basis for the lawsuit, and what was the thinking in filing it now?
So the basis is that I was wronged and malpractice was involved, and my hope in filing it is that justice will be served, but not only that, but other people who have been wronged will feel empowered and like they're not alone.
All right, you've told us before that you were having significant mental health issues as you entered adolescence, but that rather than treating the mental health issues, doctors pushed you toward transitioning. Did transitioning help you with the mental health issues at all?
Absolutely not. In fact, everything in my life, including scores for mental health tests, reflected that things were getting worse. Everything just continued to go downhill and decline as I was on wrong sex hormones.
Wow. Josh, you say in the lawsuit the doctors lied to Prisha by omission. Explain.
That's right, John. As we allege in Prisha's complaint, she was deceived and taken down a path of medicalization, cross-sex hormones, surgical removal of her body parts, in the false promise that that would fix her mental health problems, and it did not, and appropriate care was not given in Prisha's case. And it's a sad story, and we hope preventable tragedy, and that's another reason I know that Prisha is seeking justice in this case.
So the sex hormones, some of them have a temporary effect, some of them have lasting side effects. Definitely the double mastectomy is irreversible. As you now at the age of 25, Prisha, transition back to being a woman, what situation has that irreversible surgery left you in?
It's been devastating mentally and physically. I mean, I was already in a mentally compromised position, and they took away my physical health too.
Kaiser in California is also facing numerous lawsuits over gender reassignment treatments. Kayla Lovedahl is one of those people who's suing Kaiser. In her lawsuit, her attorneys say, quote, "This case is about a team of doctors who decided to perform a damaging imitation sex change experiment on Kayla, then a 12-year-old vulnerable girl struggling with complex mental health comorbidities who needed care, attention, and psychotherapy, not cross-sex hormones and mutilating surgery." This is happening across the country. Josh, what is it? Is it social ideology? Is it pressure? Is it big business? Is it all of those things?
Well, bringing it down to Prisha's case and our other clients, John, as our firm was founded this year to serve them, they're coming forward and they're saying, I was deceived, I was misled, this did not fix my mental health problems. And they're seeking justice. They want their healthcare providers held accountable, and they desperately want to try to prevent this tragedy from happening to anyone else, and to send that message.
So, Prisha, you've been living this yourself. What's behind all of this? Is it social pressure? Is it that some people have an ideology that, oh, you need to be something other than you are? Is it business? What is it?
I don't know why the adults that are in charge are pushing this, except for the fact that they are profiting from it and bolstering their credentials in this ever-growing business of gender-affirming care. But as for the children who fall victim to it, they've just been sold snake oil. It's always children who are vulnerable, which all children are, but on top of it, it's ones who have autism or who are mentally ill or suffering, and that's why they're doing it. They've been sold a lie.
Just a real quick last thought here. So there's the issue of compensation, obviously, for what you have gone through, but what's the broader message, do you think, of your lawsuit?
It's not okay what happened, and it's not okay if it happened to you. You deserve justice, you deserve better treatment, you deserve good treatment for your mental health, and you are not alone.
All right, Prisha, we'll be watching this as it moves through the courts. Thank you again for being with us, and Josh, good to have you on. Appreciate it.
Well, damn. You know, I know they didn't go into a lot of detail in terms of what type of suffering that, you know, she's going. Oh, whoa. AV guy, telling you. But yeah, what type of shit that she was going through in detail. But like my man said, this is happening all over the country. This is a common and growing thing, you know. I know I'm constantly dropping Matt Walsh's name, but like he got that hospital. I cannot remember the name of it right now. I should look it up because he mentioned the fact that this hospital was performing gender affirming care on his show, and they immediately halted all the gender affirming surgery. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. I need to know that. I need to give Matt Walsh his credit. Damn it. Let me see here. No, not Boston Children's Hospital. It was in Nashville. Vanderbilt. Yeah, okay. Vanderbilt. Yeah. So yeah, he mentioned that Vanderbilt Hospital was performing these surgeries on children, on minors, and then they stopped it. And then later on in the year, that shit became banned in the state of Tennessee, which is great, which is absolutely great. Like, it's a great thing that he did. It's a great thing that he brought attention to. And that's just a handful less of, like Prisha said, like these people who are autistic, who are mentally ill, being taken advantage of by these sick, demonic, satanic motherfuckers who are hell-bent on imposing their evil ways. These doctors, these fucking weirdos, man. This shit is weird. That's the mental illness. Seriously. Like, that poor person was drawn down a path under the guise that they would be able to return back on that path if they so decided. However, that was false. And now that they're trying to retract, they now realize that the decision that they've made is permanent. There is no retraction whatsoever. Like, this is you now. You've permanently altered yourself. And these doctors should be held responsible. Russia placed a ban on doctors performing those kind of surgeries across their whole country. And it's like, they should. That's the answer to this. It's not so much banning trans people. It's not that at all. But it's like, these doctors are the ones that, they kind of like bridge the gap, per se. Like, these doctors are the ones that bring the real sadness and the real dread to life. They are the impetus to the real path to like suicide and depression among these trans people, and why they don't feel right in their bodies. They don't understand that they just have an illness which is trained on themselves. And it's heartbreaking. It's terrifying to think that can happen to somebody that you love, somebody that you care about. To think that somebody could prey on them, make predatory movements, take advantage of them in a vulnerable state, mutilate them, butcher them sexually, knowing that these are irreversible procedures that they're going along with, knowing that this is going to alter these people's lives, knowing that this person is probably going to hate themselves and never be able to come to grips with who they are, and they're going to end up killing themselves. Which I'm not an advocate of suicide whatsoever. What I think is a cowardice and selfish move, but I get it. Like, I could get it. Like you bet you put your life on black and it showed up green. Like, that's it. And that's fucked. And like, I understand not wanting to continue to exist and have to live out the consequence of your decision. I completely understand that. I mean, I respect it, but I understand it. Like, you're conceding, you're tapping out. Cause you know you fucked up at this point. And I think any doctors performing these procedures need to be investigated. And if they performed any of this shit, they need to be put in prison forever. Throw the fucking key away. Fuck them. Because they know what they're doing. They know. And I don't think you could supply a justification for me for like purposely ruining people's lives, purposely altering and disfiguring people, purposely playing into the delusion of their mind. Instead of helping these people, instead of giving them what they need, you're giving them what they don't need. And I've seen it firsthand. Like, nobody can argue with me about this. I wasn't trans, nah, but I was a whole fucking cross-dresser, okay? And I was with the shits, all right? So, motherfucker, if you gonna stack your anecdotal evidence against me, I'm gonna stack mine against yours. And I've been on both sides of the coin. Like, I'm a grown-ass man. Always have been. Give a fuck how much mascara I wear. Nigga. It's like, what you gonna tell me? You're not gonna invalidate me. I'll be goddamned. You the one got took advantage of. They almost got me. But I'm blessed. I'm smart. I can peep shit out. And in time, I realized, and I stepped back from walking down a real dark path. That would have been, my steps would have been, I couldn't take that back. It was gonna be permanent. Because I know what it is. I can see it. Like, it makes perfect sense to me. And when it doesn't to other people, I feel for them. But at the same time, they terrify me. Because it's like, your ass don't value the truth. Like, you don't value reality. You don't value your lived experience, the livable experience. You don't value that. And if you don't value that, that means your mind, you're on some neurotic shit. Like, you're living out a reality that is not congruent with the objective reality timeline. Your ass is like, you in a parallel universe mentally somehow. So that means we're not playing by the same rule set. And if I don't detect that rather quickly, and I engage with you too much, it's an absolute guaranteed path to disaster and failure. Fuck that. Fuck that, man. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I never said I wanted that. I never signed up for that shit. But that's what these people are being tricked into doing. And it's fucked up. It's reprehensible. They all need to be in prison, punished for the rest of their miserable fucking lives. Because shit like this is heartbreaking and sad, but it's happening every single fucking day. It's despicable. All right, I found this site with some funny one-liners, so I'm gonna read a few of them and then I'm gonna disappear suddenly. This says, my wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. I went to buy some camo pants, but couldn't find any. I wonder why the Frisbee kept getting bigger and bigger, but then it hit me. I heard there were a bunch of break-ins over at the car park, and that is wrong on so many levels. I want to die peacefully in my sleep like my grandfather, not screaming and yelling like the passengers in his car. When life gives you melons, you might be dyslexic. Don't you hate it when someone answers their own questions? I do. It takes a lot of balls to golf the way I do. Get the hell out of my podcast, man. See you next time. Thank you.